Dave Rose will start his 8th season as BYU's head coach on Friday night. His past 7 years have been highlighted by a school record 6 straight trips to the Big Dance, a date in the Sweet 16, the National Player of the Year, and 185 wins, second most in BYU history. And to think it all started at Millard High School in Millard, Utah back in 1983. We welcome Coach Rose to True Blue. Let's go back to Millard. What were some of your fondest memories of your first high school job?
Well, it was a great little town. I mean, it's made up, this high school itself is made up of, 4 or 5 little communities with Fillmore and Scipio and Kanash and Meadow and Flowell and, Holden. I mean, and the kids all came from those areas, and it was so new to me. I mean, I grew up in Southern California, played basketball in Houston, and so it was a really big city to a real small town. But the one thing that I really remember was how important it was for those people to beat Delta. Okay?
The Rabbits?
The Rabbits. It was quite a rivalry, and you're coaching kids who grew up there, but their parents grew up there, and their grandparents grew up there, and their uncles and cousins, and everybody lived in town, and so there was a lot of pressure to win there, and we had a great time. Every time I drive through town there, it brings back a lot of great memories.
How much different of a coach are you today in 2012 than the core of what you were back in 1983?
Well, I think the core is probably similar as far as everything is really competitive, and let's really enjoy the fact that we get to compete, and winning is really important. Probably a little bit quieter, on the sidelines, and maybe halftime speeches are a little bit toned down. I was very excitable in a young age, but enjoyed every minute. And it's funny because I enjoy it as much now as I did then. And sometimes people they ask me, well, how do you deal with the pressure? I mean, your job must be just full of. There's not any more pressure at BYU than there is at Millard High School or there is at Dixie College. I mean, it's all the same.
Well, instead of Delta, there's Utah. There are other rivalries that mean a lot.
The big bad red team.
Yeah. So let's talk about Brandon Davies. Speaking of big and bad, and he appears to have had a very good off season.
He's had a great off season. Probably, he was on pace to probably wear himself out a little bit, and he got himself hurt on a little shoulder accident, so it slowed him down. But I think it all has worked really well for him because he spends so much time in the gym, not only working on his game, but then when he kind of got slowed down with his shoulder, he spent a lot of time evaluating film and watching himself. And I think that combination has been really, really good for him.
It's a challenge for you to send missionaries off, but it's great to get them back. And Tyler Haws comes back and goes right back into the starting 5. Yeah,
and I think Ty's been pretty fortunate in his timing here at BYU, because he comes in as a freshman, and that's right after Lee Kamara graduates and leaves, and so he has an opportunity to start right as a freshman. And then he comes back, and our starting 2 guy when he was gone was Charles, and so that starting position opens up again, and Tyler has that opportunity to come in and play, and he's ready for it. I mean, he a lot of times return missionaries want to come back and maybe kind of blend in, but I think Ty is a guy who embraces the opportunity and the challenge and is looking forward to it.
Does he deliver the heart sock points that you lose by losing Noah?
We'll see. I think that he's a guy who has always been on his team, the one who wants to take the last shot, wants to be in that big possession, wants to be involved at the free throw line late in the game, and hopefully that's what he can do here for us. Right now we've got 3 or 4 guys that are all trying to compete for that position, for that spot. And the more you have, the better you're going to be as a team. And hopefully Tyler can be one of those guys.
Matt Carlino back as a point guard, no longer a freshman. You get him now for your sophomore season. What do you expect out of him?
Well, I think that what we need from Matt is we need for him to play like he did last year more consistently, the good times. And he's a guy who knows his ability. He knows what he can do. But our team needs to be able to rely on those positive plays from him every game. And he's worked really, really hard. I really am pleased with the whole the core preparation of our group. They've all spent a lot of time at it, and I think Matt's expecting, his expectations are to have a much more consistent year.
It looks like Gonzaga, St. Mary's, BYU, the top three in the WCC. How do you see the league playing out, and especially the matchups with those two?
Well, you know, I think that we understand a little bit more about the challenge of the league. Last year there were so many unknowns coming into the season, and you know, I think that at the end of the year when we got through it, we had that week off waiting for the NCAA selection committee, and realized that you know, with 25 wins and placing third in the WCC, that we got an invitation to the NCAA tournament. I think it made all of us feel a lot more confident about this league and about playing in this league. Now this challenge is trying to win this league, and that's going to be you know, quite a challenge. Gonzaga obviously has been so good for so long. St. Mary's broke that record last year when they won the conference and the conference tournament. So hopefully we can get up in the middle of that and battle for it. And that's our goal, is that we want to win a regular season conference championship and want to win a tournament championship.
Friday night's opening night on BYU TV. At what point in the afternoon will your stomach start to tighten and turn a little bit as do you still get the players' anxiousness of an opening night?
Well, the thing is early in the year, you know, you're really kind of nervous for yourself as far as your coaches, their preparation, to make sure you've got everything covered, and later you kind of just hope that your players, you know, can perform at the level that they're capable of. The first game or two, you've got both of those situations going, so it's actually pretty fun. You get cranked up pretty good, you get nervous, you get excited, but you know, that's the best part about our jobs, is that we get to prepare and then go put our product out there and see how we do, and then evaluate it, and hopefully we've done well.
Well, when you're not on ESPN this year, you're on BYU TV, so we're excited to have the squad running the floor with us.
We're really excited with the coverage of the BYU TV gives us. I know our guys are really excited about, you know, we've got a couple guys from foreign countries who their parents can figure out a way to watch the games, and that's a great thing for you know, for all our players.
All right, Coach. See you Friday.
All right, thanks a lot.
Head Coach Dave Rose, and we remind you can watch every Cougar game this season at home on either BYU TV or an ESPN channel. BYU's first two away games, part of the Coaches versus Cancer Classic, and will be broadcast on True TV, the two games back in Brooklyn. After every BYU home game this year, visit BYUTVsports.com for the game highlights.